everyone, and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. Now, I do have Rihanna with me here to my right, who's going to be doing the news in just a second. But shall we let them know about what's going to be on the programme today?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, we'll be speaking with Verity Slattery about her heartbreak, how she went to start a new life in Dubai, and how she is now focused on chasing her dreams. And we'll also be going to a Skype call with psychologist Leah Perkins for some professional advice. We'll also have our fitness tip with Jane for those that sit at a desk all day. And we'll also take a look at how to make a quick and easy snack with Hannah Richards that's also healthy. And of course, we have the self-development clinic with Chris Browne. And last but not least, I'll also be answering a question from one of our viewers. But let's go to Rihanna first. How are you, my love?
I'm fab.
Have you lost any more weight?
I prefer to just, keep that for next week.
She's been into her fitness stuff for the last. You have kept it up, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Slimmer, yeah.
I have. Eating healthy the whole.
You've got an incentive now because all the viewers are sort of,
yeah,
right behind you.
Edging me on.
Yeah.
But when I do not go out for a jog or run, I skip or I jog on the spot.
That's good.
That still counts, doesn't it?
Yes, of course it does. Well, it depends how long you do it for, but.
About 10 minutes.
That's all right, it's quite good. Skipping 10 minutes is quite hard.
Sometimes 5. But
the truth comes out.
This is why I'm always going on about, health news and size-wise and all of that, because we always have to take care of our health. Do you know what I mean? So when I came across this news, I was shocked, because when the size 0 came out, it was a big deal. Everyone was like, size 0, that's non-existent. But forget size 0, the new disturbing Hollywood body figure, the trend is 000.
Oh gosh.
I'm sure that's like what, 4-year-old size?
Gosh.
Or are we going down to being 3 years old now?
What is a 0 in equivalent to?
I think a 0
is 6, isn't it, over here? I'm not sure. I don't know if
a 0 is 6
Does anyone know? Yeah, it's a 0 is 6. Oh my gosh.
So 000, that's size 2. Does that even exist? I don't know. I have no idea. I think that's dangerous, but that is the Hollywood in thing now. I don't know why it's a trend, because it's so unhealthy. Does that mean, okay, don't eat and be extremely thin because you'll be happy? Or, I don't know, what are your views on this? Because I just think it's scary.
In my opinion, I don't think it matters your size if you've gone to the doctor and had a checkup, because there are some really slim people that are actually healthy. It's just their frame. Yeah. And as well, like bigger people that their frame is quite big, so but when they go and get their checks and everything, they're okay. Healthy. So it depends, but not if it's unhealthy. That doesn't sound very healthy. It's
scary, because when a celebrity does it, then it almost seems like it's okay.
Yeah.
That everyone should follow the trend, and that's the most upsetting part, because they know that it's not the best thing. But crash diets, honey and lemon, with oats only. I read up about that when I was going on my crazy diet thing, but when I saw what I had to eat, I thought, nah, forget it. I'll just lose weight the natural way.
Oh, I can't believe you did that.
No, I've
read all the nutritionists that we've had on the show.
I read about it, but I didn't go through it.
The best way is to do it slowly and controlled.
Because you'll keep it up, you'll keep it going.
Exactly.
I'm not going to cut all the meat, but I don't eat fast food.
Good girl.
I've cut down on all the fry-ups. I don't do it. And now when I do have something fried, I kind of feel sick.
You get used to it after a while, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm actually loving it. I don't do fizzy drinks anyway, so only water. But
good girl.
That was quite
proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of me too. The second one is an advert that a really well-known branded shampoo company did. Now, one thing that when I read this, I kind of noticed it, because every time something happens, women always tend to apologise, even when it's not their fault. Walking in through the door, oh, sorry. Going into a meeting, sorry. Everything, but why are you apologising? You didn't do anything. Why can't we just be bold and say it? And that's what this advert is saying. I've got a friend,
I'm laughing because I've got a friend that she says sorry for everything when it's not even her fault. So why are you saying sorry? Stop saying sorry all the time.
So this campaign is just really about empowering women to kind of be brave and just have courage to say in there, walk into the meeting and say, excuse me, what is happening? Or can I give my idea? Not always saying, sorry, because it does.
Sorry, can I just say something?
Yeah. Is it part of our genes? I don't know. I don't realise that I do it, but I'm probably sure that I do.
I do.
Walking in, oh, sorry.
But now that I'm aware of it, thank you for educating me.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm aware of it.
Power to the women.
I mean, it's nice to be polite at the same time.
But you will be polite. You just don't need to say sorry all the time for everything. It's like, sorry, can I have the can of beans, please? Sorry. Yeah. See, I just did it now. And we do it without realising it. But the whole point is, women, we just need to be brave. We need to be confident. You're rocking those hills. You might as well be confident when you speak.
Good tip.
That's
there,
a new one, isn't
it?
That's my second one on
I
the
shall
show.
be watching out for that.
Have a notepad next week. Right. The next news that I have, I really want the picture to be shown because we have this Esther Hoying, her name is. She's a human interest reporter, and she took a picture of herself and she sent it to, I think it was 40 photo editors in 25 different countries to Photoshop her. And she said that the only brief she gave them was, make me look beautiful. So the same picture went to 25
So that's her
different
obviously on the
editors.
left, natural.
Yeah. And then, like, she said what was surprising was Morocco. Because when she said, make me beautiful, that's their idea of beauty. So it's not just...
Which one?
The one with the scarf, the blue scarf. That was from Morocco. And she said she was quite shocked at that.
Why?
Because in her idea, beauty is not necessarily being covered, but about what your face looks like. And you'll see one of the pictures, I think it was...
So they think more like sort of discretion maybe.
So the discretion makes it beautiful, and she was saying that.
Well, it depends on the culture, doesn't it, where you are.
And that's what she was saying, it plays a role. It's not just about looking beautiful on the outside, the culture, the religion, the faith, everything in that society will make the definition of beauty be different. Yeah. So one picture, one image in 25 different countries is completely different how they define beauty. And it always
that's like so important just to be happy with yourself, isn't it? Because
they could distort your image. There was an image from a particular country, I won't reveal, where she said she was shocked because they completely altered her hair colour, her look, they made her face look slimmer, and it was like, this is not me. And it's the country where she was from. And it
really does depend, because I've got some African friends, for example, and like their idea, because like if, for example, you were to go over there or me to go over there, they would think we were super skinny, we really need to put a lot of weight on, because they prefer sort of meatier, fuller figures. But in other places you go, they think that the slim
is beautiful. Yeah. So I don't know.
I had a friend that went to America and she loved it because she was the slimmest one there, even though she felt that she was overweight. But because everyone was bigger than her, she absolutely loved it. Because I feel so slim.
That'll make me feel good too. But I'm not saying that just for the sake of it. But you know, beauty is beauty, but it is in the eye of the beholder. That's what they say, isn't it? That's true. Now, the third news, quite scary. Not so scary, but anything is really scary for me. An Olympian, 28 years old, she ran 800-meter race while 34 weeks pregnant, but she's safe. I know. How do you run with a bump? I'd be afraid to trip over and just land on my bump. You know, you trip, fall, and the egg squashes. True, yeah. Sorry. I saw
slow running. What kind of?
800 meters. I don't think it's fast. Is it 2 laps around?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, just for me to do 1 lap and collapsing, and she's running 2-3 laps, and she's pregnant.
Yeah, but they do say it's good for the baby if you exercise.
That's more than an exercise. That's a race.
It's only 2 laps.
She qualified for, I think, national championships, and she ran.
Like you said, I think the dangerous thing would if she tripped.
For me, it's dangerous, but I think it's amazing. It's crazy because I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do 800 meters, and I'm not pregnant. But she is. I think that's such a big encouragement.
She's professional.
It's just great. I think it encourages
like the one that
me a lot.
Was it you that brought that news on of that pregnant lady that was weightlifting?
Yes.
She was doing some really heavy weight training and like really deep squats, and the doctor said it was. Did the doctor say it was fine?
It was okay because she wasn't lifting beyond her weight, is it?
Yeah.
Mass.
It looked pretty like heavy
I'd be scared, but she did pretty well. I
just don't know how they have the energy, to be honest.
I look at it and I'm afraid of lifting because I feel like I'm going to break every bone in my body. But when you've got that sort of, what's the word? You've got that determination, you've got a goal, you know, you don't care of the obstacles, whether you're pregnant or not. You lift those weights and you make it. It's like you're proving to people it can be done. Yeah, and if I'm pregnant, I can do it, so can you. I'm not saying that I'm pregnant, just in case you tuned in now.
I've got time for one more quick one.
Okay, fab. Waste Not, Want Not is a food truck that use leftovers, you know, fruits that hasn't been used, vegetables. They make smoothies and they give it for free. Ooh. I think that's a really good initiative. It's started up in Manchester. And it's a program, it's an action program against waste, because here in London alone, so much waste, so much waste. So they've decided to, instead of waste it, make use of it, because somebody will enjoy that nice smoothie from a piece of fruit that wasn't being used. Great idea. I love you guys.
I don't waste stuff.
I know, wasting is bad. I remember when I waste food, my mum always says, don't waste food because you're going to want it one day. And when I'm out on a long day, I can't stop to get a bite to eat. And I'm like, I shouldn't have threw those sausages away.
You see. Naughty. Well, thank you, Rihanna.
Thank you.
Actually, I'd like to discuss that more one day about the wasting thing, because I've got a few tips of my own for the viewers.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Me.
And we'll see you. And we'll see you again next week.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so do stay tuned, because after the break, I'll be joined by Verity Slattery to discuss her physical and emotional recovery from heartbreak. So do stay tuned.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. Now, before we delve into the subject of heartbreak and how to get over it, let's take a look at this fitness tip from Jane Wrafter for those that work behind the desk.
Hi everyone, I'm Jane, and my fitness tip for today is for all you desk workers watching today. So I've got a few hints and tips to help you stay healthy if you sit at a desk all the time, which, as you probably know, causes all kinds of problems. So the first thing to think about is when you are actually sitting at your desk in front of a computer, try and make sure that you sit with your spine really tall and straight. Some lumbar support. Lumbar just means the lower back area here. So a cushion in your lower back can help you to sit tall. Okay, that's a really good hint and worth trying. Make sure that your computer isn't too low, because if it's too low, you end up like this, with the forward shoulders and the slumped posture. So you need to elevate yourself and pull the shoulder blades back. And in fact, Pilates will really help you, because a lot of the emphasis in Pilates is about lengthening up through the spine, drawing in through the abdominals and pulling the shoulders back. It was designed ideally for desk workers, actually. A couple of exercises that you can do at home if you spend a lot of time at a desk is to stretch out your hip flexors. So the hip flexors, when you're in a seated position, are shortened all the time. So the job of the hip flexors is to lift your leg up and down. But if you're seated constantly in this position, the hip flexors can get short and tight. So a really simple hip flexor stretch is this. I've got one leg back, one leg front, and I'm pressing down from the hips here, and it really opens up at the front of the hip. For a less intense stretch, you can pop your back knee on the floor like that. And you would just hold this for maybe 20 seconds at a time, and maybe do it 4 or 5 times a day. Okay, this will really help. Another great exercise is a back extension. So if you put yourself onto your front, you just simply float your chest up like this, and can you see that the back has gone into extension, which is the opposite of flexion, which is what you'll be doing at your desk all the time. And for a deeper back bend, you can push yourself all the way up and straighten your arms. And this counterbalances the forward flexion that you do a lot at the desk. Okay, so I hope those tips help you, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, Jane. And now I have Verity Slattery with me. Hello.
Hello, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Good, yeah, good.
Thanks for coming on and being brave as well to talk about something that's quite, well, very personal.
Yeah, sure.
But I know you're here obviously to help other ladies or people in general that are going through something like this, and that's of course heartbreak.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how it all began, Verity?
Oh God, well, I was with my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, for nearly 3 years. And then after that, it was a bit of a messy split. And as a girl, like when you don't really get an answer as to why you split up and have a big breakup, you kind of always hold on to it, don't you? So. But
how was the relationship during those 3 years? Was it good? Was it like bumpy?
It was amazing. Like
really?
It was the best relationship. Like we said, it's like a little fairy tale. Like we literally, it went from like my mum used to let his mum babysit me, and we didn't know. So we were babysat together at 2 years old. and then didn't know each other for like 15 years, and then randomly like bumped into each other. And his mum was like, oh, there's not very many Verities around. It's a bit unusual. And then, so that's how we were just like, oh, it's like
which makes it even more difficult to come to terms with. If there were problems, you think, okay, that's why we split up. But then you didn't really know the reason. Did he break off with you then? Like,
I mean, we had the normal arguments like everyone does. But at the very end, it was just, I was a bit confused because I was always the one that was kind of wearing the trousers and everything. So I was just like, all of a sudden one day I was just like, yeah, that's it, done. And I was just like, okay, why? And every time I tried to ask or get an answer, I was just shut off and shut down. So I just never really got anywhere with it. And it's hard because you hang on to it.
How did you deal with that at the time?
It was horrendous. Like, I just used to go out all the time drinking with my friends, and obviously your friends are trying to encourage you to get out there and meet other people, but it's kind of a catch-22 because you're drinking, so it makes you feel even worse, and you just get really depressed and upset, but then you just do it. It's a vicious circle. So
was he your first serious boyfriend, would you say, like someone that you loved? Or?
Yeah, he was my first love. I did date someone before him, but until I met my ex, the one that we're talking about, I didn't really know what love was. It was more lust after someone, whereas being with my ex, it was just like, it was definitely love, and and you just want to be with that person all the time, and we lived in each other's pockets, and so it was literally like losing my best friend. Like, my best friend had died or something when we split up. It was horrendous.
It is a massive loss, isn't it, when you're that close to someone? So then things actually got worse after that, didn't they? Because then he went on to Big Brother, was it?
Yeah. So like, I used to get quite a lot of grief when I'd be seen out and about, and because whenever we did bump into each other, we used to get into arguments and things. Because when you love someone that much, it's like, I don't know the best way to, like, you just hate each other but love each other at the same time, when you get in arguments all the time. So then, he went into Big Brother. But I saw him just before he went into Big Brother when I lived in Dubai. So that made things even worse because, like, your head starts thinking, oh God, like, it's been a while and I've met up with them again. So does this mean that something's going to happen or become of it? And obviously it never did.
So you were still hoping to get back together?
I think so, in the back of my mind and deep down somewhere, I thought maybe one day,
And you were getting a bit of bullying as well?
Yeah, like whenever I went out, like I kind of stopped going out in the hometown where I'm from in Peterborough because I'd get, like, I had someone throw chewing gum in my hair, so all in my hair extensions one night. I've had guys who are his friends like kick me in the back and think it's funny. Drinks like kind of knocked into you.
Some people are so cruel.
Yeah, and the thing is, the frustrating thing for me is not these people that were doing that had never heard two sides of the story. They'd just listened to one, and they didn't know everything that we'd gone through together. So I was actually the more mature person at the time, trying to deal with it as much as I was upset and everything. Okay.
And then when did you decide to move to Dubai?
So things were really messy, and I used to call my best friend, he was like a brother to me all the time, and he lived in Dubai, and he was like, right, you need to sort it out now, like, you cry every time you speak to me, you can't go out without getting upset, just come over here and start fresh. And I was just like, oh, I don't know. And at the age of 21, you think, God, I don't know if I can do that.
That's quite a scary thing to do, just to get up and sort of leave everything behind and go there.
Because it's leaving everything, your friends, your family, everything that you've built up, and then just starting fresh. But at the time, I felt like I had nothing in the UK. So I went out, I went through all the interview process, everything, became an air hostess, and literally never looked back. Like, it was.
So was it a good experience for you over there?
Initially it was very hard, because you go through very intense training and you are literally starting fresh, and I was so young. When I look back now at the age I am now, I think, God, like, I can't believe you did that. But yeah, like, and it was tough to start with, and I did get upset and ring my mum most days, but I just want to come home, like. But I'm so glad that I stuck at it, because I wouldn't be where I am now, and I wouldn't be as strong a person as I am.
But while you were there, were you thinking about your ex a lot?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah, because it's hard to shut off after spending so much time with someone, like, and being that in love with someone, and even if it is a messy split, girl, I don't know if it's just a girl thing, but we kind of hang on to all the positive, good things, don't we, about a relationship, even if it does end. So,
and even in a relationship, because you get women, for example, that they stay sometimes in a really bad relationship because it's good. Like, I had a friend once, she said, oh, but it's good 10% of the time. Yeah. And she stayed in it
clinging on
because of that 10%. And I said, but it could be great 90% of the time.
And
you don't have to stay in that kind of a situation. I think, yeah, that's just goals all round, isn't it? Just want to look at the good in people. Exactly. Always hoping people are going to change or something like that, but sometimes it doesn't work out. So but then you ended up coming back here, Verity.
Yeah, so I lived abroad. I lived in Dubai for 3 years. I lived in a couple of other countries after, just doing different little bits, because once you get the travel bag and once you've done it, you feel like you can do anything, and it's amazing. So I did that, but now I've come back because I wanted to spend more time with the family, because I feel bad for like being away for so long periods at time, and for my career as well. So London's the best place to be for that. So,
What's been the hardest thing for you to deal with in all of this, would you say?
I think because when I split up with my ex, I lost a lot of friends through it as well. So
do you have mutual friends then?
Yeah, we had a lot of mutual friends, even some of my friends, because I was so upset and I just kind of clung to the people that wanted to go out and party all the time instead of my good friends that weren't into partying. We lost touch and broke away, so I lost a lot of good friends through it. And my reputation as a person and my pride and everything, you just make a mess of yourself, and because you're so upset and it's so heartbreaking, you're in self-destruct mode, and I literally just went, literally lost the plot. It's embarrassing. When I look back now, I think, God, why didn't you pull yourself together? But yeah, so...
But you were really young, weren't you? Because we have to see, because sometimes obviously we mature with experiences that we go through and stuff, and like there are people that do really beat themselves up for the past, where we've all made mistakes and we all react in ways that maybe we're not proud of with things, but then once we come through that and we look back and say, okay, I'm not going to, if a situation or a similar situation arose in the future, I wouldn't react the same way because I'm more mature about it.
That's what I think is the thing as well. Like, I wish, because obviously I reacted that way at the time, and I'm wondering, you always cling to that and think, maybe if I didn't react like that, would I still be able to salvage some kind of friendship with my ex or something? And obviously time and things happen.
Sometimes it's just best to move on.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what, Verity, after the break we're going to be speaking to our psychologist Leah Perkins. She's going to be giving us some professional advice, and also for the viewers that are watching that maybe are going for a breakup, or you've broken up with someone and you're still really cut up about it, you don't know how to move on. So she'll be giving us some great advice, so do stay tuned.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Now we'll be speaking to our psychologist in just a few minutes about how to deal with a breakup. But first of all, let's take a look at Hannah's nutritional cooking tip, how to make a healthy McMuffin. So today I'm here with Hannah Richards of Move 360, and for those that say they don't have time to cook something nutritious and healthy, it's not true, is it, Hannah?
It's not true. Everyone's got time to eat right, because how we eat makes us feel good. So today, the next thing we're going to do, Chrissy, I'm going to ask you to crack those eggs again. We've got 4 left, so we might not make the whole tray, but
do a few.
We'll make these. We'll make these really, we'll stuff them with lots of stuff. So we've got some spinach, so spinach is great in the morning. Oh, bit of shell makes it taste better. Some lovely vine tomatoes here. So we're just going to, we'll cut them up, we'll chop them up. I'm gonna add some spinach, handful of spinach, a bit more. See, we're not weighing anything, we're not measuring anything. It's so much more creative and less stressful, isn't it? And then I'm going to spoon these into these McMuffin tins. We've greased them with coconut oil again. And Chrissy, if you just sprinkle then a bit of goat's cheese.
Kids are sometimes a bit funny about goat's cheese, aren't they? But
it is.
You can add something, I'll get used to it.
Yeah, it can be a bit of an acquired taste, I suppose, but they don't like it. You could use some sheep's, you can use cow's cheese, you could use your cheddars. There we go. They'll look beautiful when they come out of the oven.
Imagine, can't wait.
So you could put mushrooms in these, chorizo, you could fry your bacon and then put little bacon bits in. You could have salmon.
Anything you want, really, your favourite ingredients.
So they are only going to take sort of 15, 20 minutes. So here are egg McMuffins. Wow, look at them.
Yummy.
Goat's cheese, tomato and spinach. They're gonna have to be tried, aren't they, Chrissy? Just make sure they're... And they just come out so beautifully. The cherry tomato might be quite hot, straight out of the oven.
Goat cheese is really nice in there as well.
And that took, you know, less than 5 minutes to whisk up like you're making your scrambled egg, and it's 15 minutes in the oven. Who hasn't got time for that?
Yeah, we all do.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, and absolutely, it's just quick and easy.
Lovely. All right, guys, see you again later. Thank you, Hannah. And now it's time to talk to psychologist Dr. Leah Perkins about heartbreak. Hello. How are you?
Hi. I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to have you back on the show.
It's good to be back.
Okay, so I don't know if you could hear everything that Verity was saying earlier, but we are talking about heartbreak, and obviously she went through quite a hard time, you know, even went to Dubai to get away from everything. Why is it, do you think, that people do have such a hard time when they break up with someone?
Well, I do think it's different reasons, but when Verity was speaking, I think the main things that came out for her were the fact that she didn't really understand why. I think that's a massive reason that people can help to move forward, is if you understand the reason for the breakup. Right. So that's a big challenge, I think, for some breakups with people. And also investing so much time and energy into a relationship with someone.
Yeah.
And build a life with them. You, like Verity said, they have mutual friends. So it's kind of losing those things as well.
Mm-hmm. And how do you suggest, obviously I know any breakup is going to be difficult, but what do you have any tips for our viewers on how to move on, how not to be sort of stuck in the past, things like that?
The first thing I would say is just focus on you for a while. Do not get into another relationship. I think that's probably the worst thing that some people do. So they've got like a void in their life and they think that by get to another relationship will make them feel better. But that's definitely the worst thing to do. Give yourself some time, surround yourself with positive people and do things that you enjoy. And until you're kind of in another place to get into another relationship, I would strongly advise steering away from that.
Okay. And obviously in Verity's case, she did say that she had quite a hard time from other people, like even like being bullied by people. In those kind of situations, what would you suggest?
What, bullying in relationships to her relationship, do you mean?
Like some of like her ex's friends, for example, they were quite nasty to her, and so she had all that to deal with on top of the heartbreak. Yeah,
well, that's awful. I mean, no one should have to go through that as well. I think avoiding those situations as far as you can, and if you can't, then confronting those people. It's not acceptable behaviour. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just removing yourself from any situation you can kind of gets you into that. All
right, but obviously people do move on. That's the good news, isn't it, Leah?
Absolutely,
people do move on. There is life after a breakup, and
yeah, and actually, looking back on relationships, you can take a lot of wisdom from it. And I do say you've got to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince.
Yeah.
So taking the positives from the relationship and what you've learnt into future ones.
Yeah. All right then. Thank you so much for being on the show, Leah. It's great talking to you again.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so we've got a few more minutes to speak to Verity. Now, one thing I did want to, I have mentioned it before, which is my camera, by the way, guys. Is it this one here? I'm a bit confused now because the camera's moved. All right, so I think a mistake that a lot of women make especially is, and I have spoken about this before because it's a situation I went through with my boyfriend, but I'm now married to him. But I made him my world.
Yeah.
And that is quite a big mistake. I know sort of when we're with someone, we want to like spend all our time with them and like go everywhere, and all our plans are based around that person. So that is a mistake that I made, which caused loads of problems in their relationship because I ended up being clingy and caused a lot of arguments. And that is something that a lot of women do, that they don't have a life outside of their relationship. And obviously if they lose that relationship, they feel like they've lost everything, and that could lead to serious problems.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like, that's exactly what happened with me. Like, we at one point worked together, We lived together, like we literally did everything every minute of the day together pretty much. So to go from that, you need, for any healthy relationship, you need to, obviously trust comes into it as well. You have to trust each other to be able to have that time with, the guy has to be with his guys, you as a girl, you have to be with the girls, like, and yeah, just make your own time. Like, you can't be in each other's pockets because it's not healthy. And then when a breakup does occur, if unfortunately it happens, then
you've got a life outside of the relationship.
You don't feel completely alone.
So tell us about Verity today, because we've got a few minutes left. So what you're doing with your life, because it's great to see you back in the UK and getting on with things and not being stuck there.
Yeah. This is it. So yeah, I've come back to the UK. I'm living in London now. I work in radio, but presenting, whether it's TV or radio, is what I want to do eventually. So I'm kind of chasing my dream and actually going at it, because relationships and all sorts have come in the way before, and now I feel like I'm actually just focused and I can actually get on with it. Yeah.
What would you say is different now? Like, if you were to meet someone now, what would you say you would do differently or take with you from the experience that you had?
Yeah, I think, like we've just said, like I'll still have my own time, and the same with the guy. I'll make sure if it starts to get that little bit claustrophobic or a little bit too much, I'll make sure that we do have our own time. The whole living together thing, I wouldn't jump straight into that again. And there's so many things, and the things that I've told my friends over the years not to do in relationships, or when they've come to me for advice, I need to start taking my own advice, and I will do that. So yeah.
And there's always, like we always say, there's a silver lining to every cloud. Is that the right expression?
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Every cloud. So thank you, silver lining. Sorry, I'm a bit slow. I haven't had my dinner yet. So I mean, it's good that you've taken out the positives from it, because like, whenever we go through a bad experience, we do see, okay, there's certain things that I've learned from that I won't do again. And you do have a basis to help other people, which is a great thing. And it's good thing is that you're not keeping it to yourself. Because I do think that when you talk about your past and stuff, it helps in your healing process too.
Yeah, this is it. It helps you as a person. And if I can help one 18-year-old or one 20-something-year-old, like, by them watching me and realising there is more to life, and you don't have to just cling on to that hope that you might get back with that same person all the rest of it, like, and they can move on from that, it'd be great. Like, I'd love that.
Well, I think you've definitely done that for more than one person.
I hope so, yeah.
Thank you so much, Leah, for sharing. Verity, for sharing your story.
No
it's brilliant speaking to you.
And you, thank you.
Okay, so do stay tuned, because after the break we're going to be speaking to our self-development coach, Chris Browne, and I'll also be answering a question from a viewer. So see you after this break.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. I'm now in the self-development clinic with Chris Browne. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Chrissy.
How are you?
I am feeling really good today. How are you doing?
Great. I'm really good.
Great.
So I'm going to answer this question from a viewer first, Chris, and then you'll be giving us some advice on
mind blocks.
Mind blocks. Okay, that sounds really interesting. Okay, so this one, this email says, I'm a 40-year-old female professional with no social life and no friends. I had a serious relationship with someone who broke my heart. Fitting for the topic today, isn't it? I really want a social life, but can't seem to get myself out there. I don't know whether to look for another partner or concentrate on getting myself some friends first. So what would you do, Chrissy? Now, first of all, from what you've said in your email, I think it would be good to first of all focus on building your own self-esteem before even thinking about a romantic relationship. Now, your email does leave me with a few questions, such as why do you have no social life? Has something happened in your past? Or was it the way you were brought up that made you close off from people? So it's good to get to the root of the issue first and deal with it from there. But the good news is that you can change. I myself was a very shy person with lots of complexes. I was very quiet and didn't like mixing with people, but I'm so different today. So it is possible to completely change that. But I would start off by perhaps mixing with family members, for example. Like, do you have any cousins or relatives that you can maybe just ask out for a coffee? And you can also do the same thing with maybe some female work colleagues, for example, just to get used to, like, you know, mixing with people, socializing with people. That's probably a good start. And perhaps you can ask them to discuss some work over coffee and then practice socializing a bit. So it's a skill. It can be learned, because some people think, oh, because I'm so shy, that's the way it's going to be from now on, and you know, I don't think I can ever be like an outgoing person, but you can learn to be like I did. And it takes a bit of pushing, it takes a bit of, you might feel silly, you might feel awkward out of your comfort zone, but the more you do it, the better you're going to feel about it. But I would work on, I mean, it seems like you're quite confident in your professional life, you know, and you're working and everything, but your confidence, no, it's not confidence, it's self-esteem that you taught us last time. Yes, see, I'm learning from Chris too. Your self-esteem needs building up. So I would definitely think about doing that first, getting used to socialising before thinking about a relationship. So I do hope that's helped you. And if anyone else there has a question for me, you can email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Any comments, Chris?
Well, you know what? I think you just underline that. I would have said exactly the same thing. I'd say even more that it's a case of getting to know herself more instead first. And much as you said, underline that self-esteem. You know, this whole thing of, do I get somebody else or friends? You've got to get to know you first. And then after, you can have the friends. Partner comes along later on.
I think it is really, really important to get to the root of issues. Because when you understand where something is coming from, say like you had a difficult upbringing, that's made you sort of closed off. Some people say, why do I need to know where it all started? The thing is, when you can identify the root of where it happened, you can tell yourself, well, do you know what? I'm not there anymore. I'm not in that situation anymore. I don't have to react in this way or behave in this way. I'm not there anymore. That's a good way, because even though sometimes it's painful to look back at your past, but when you see what's affected you, you can say, well, hang on a minute, I'm going to be different now because I'm not there anymore.
Well, I totally agree with that. And it's the case of looking back in the past, but not totally focusing on the negatives. Have a glance in there, look back, see what you need to undo and why it happened. Sometimes that self-esteem could come from parents who are too authoritative in that way. You know, you feel you can't do anything, well, you get told off for it, and it kind of grew up with you, and time has moved on, you know. So discover, rediscover yourself. Okay. Well, it's funny talking about it as well, because today we're talking about unblocking mind blocks. And just a while ago as well, listening to a guest, and funnily enough, something that Rihanna said as well earlier on, and I was thinking how much that connects, and what you just said just now, and this viewer, because that had to do with a block along the way. Until we actually face that block, we actually move on. Slightly different to what I'm going to talk about, but it is about blocks at the end of the day. Now, talking about mind blocks and how to remove mind blocks, we've got to understand what they are first of all, because we all get them. You ever had that moment where you're thinking about something, all of a sudden it leaves you and says, see ya, you're on your own? Or,
several times, and it's happening a lot lately. I think I need more sleep.
It's happened while we're doing this for a few times already. You can think, oh, what are we going to say next? But the thing about it, mind blocks, I mean, many people have mind blocks because we muse about things. You think about this thing, you always got this saying, writer's block, you know, great Hollywood films and like writer's block, didn't know how, and all of a sudden things kicked in or whatever, right? Now, the thing about it, most times we're actually racing ahead in our mind to get something out. It's like when we're going to have a conversation with someone, there's something really exciting, and yet still we're in the same place. Kind of hard to understand, but it kind of fused together. Bam, there's that block. What was I going to say? What was it? This, that, and the other. Or you're doing a project, and you just can't move any further than where you are, and that is your mind block. Now, the thing about it, a little bit of advice on that, mind block, think outside the box. We've heard that many times, think outside the box. And sometimes when I run workshops, what I do is on a flip chart, I've got a little box there and a person on the outside, an arrow out there, and it actually has that effect, like thinking, well, what is thinking outside the box? And when you break it down, it's like breaking the limits that are inside your head. Think lateral. When you think lateral, things kind of kick in creatively because you're taking the limits away. When you think lateral, we kind of think in, let's say, children do it, very logical. This goes here and that's what it is, and there's a reason. There's no in-betweens why it needs to go there to there and this, that and the other. We just think lateral.
Not over-analysing.
That's it, not over-analysing was a better way of putting it, actually, straightforward, because the thing about it as well is it's not only thinking outside the box. Sometimes we try and think outside the box, but yet still we're thinking, well, what do we need to be thinking about, right? So here's a good one as well. Get into somebody else's box, right? Sounds crazy, get into somebody else's box, but literally get in somebody else's box. Here we go. You're thinking about something and you just can't work out how to work that creative thing to get it going and work it out. All right, you're in the office, you're at home, you're at work, you've got somebody else on the other desk and you know this person's character, and they're quite creative. A way of thinking around is think, what would they do if it was them? How do they think? or you're about to deliver a speech and you're thinking, oh no, this ain't right. How would so-and-so do that speech if they were delivering? So what you're doing is you're getting inside their box in their way, not changing who you are, but pulling on that, pulling on that creativity instead to enhance your roles and break out those limits.
I think that also takes an element of, what would I say, humbleness, because sometimes people can be a bit proud. They want to sort of have all the ideas and stuff, but there's nothing wrong with picking someone else's brains, is
no,
there?
there isn't. There isn't at all.
It doesn't mean that, you know, you're useless or you can't do it yourself. It's, you learn. By talking to other people, you learn as well.
Yeah, you do learn from that. And, well, sometimes, like I said, you don't have to actually ask. You can actually just imagine what would they do. You know, that sort of way. But like you said, it's good to actually ask and brainstorm with someone. Excuse me, my voice is going in. Right, I think I will. Excuse me.
It's okay. Your hay fever? Cold?
Terrible time, isn't it? Hay fever. Right. Okay, talking about that. Here's the other one, breaking that mind block. Get playful. Sometimes you need to actually get away from what you're actually doing. Take time out, play. Play. Children do it all the time. They're very creative. You want to get creative? Start playing. Sometimes we get too serious, too focused, too bugged down, and you just can't get to that place that you need to get to. But the funny thing about it as well, if you're working on a project and you take time out, don't take too long. Only take about 30 minutes to go and play. I'm not saying 30 seconds, 30 minutes.
So just to relax like for half an hour or just watch something.
Exactly it. Something totally different. But what it does, it gets the mind to actually... Do you know when you're on a computer, let's put it this way, you're on a computer and it freezes, right? Got to switch it off, right? Switch it back on, unfroze, yeah? Okay, same thing with the mind as well. Okay. Go away, play, 30 minutes so, do what you do, come back to it. Don't do 24 hours because you won't forget. You'll forget exactly what you was doing before.
Let's just clarify this for those that work in an office.
Sure.
Don't keep taking 30-minute breaks, okay, because, you know, you might get into trouble. But say if you're at home and you're working on something, it's okay to take your lunch break and stuff like that, but don't overdo it, right?
Right, that is true. Clarify that, yes,
or else people writing and complaining about you.
Right, all right, you only got about 30 minutes, talk to your boss about it. Right, okay, the other one is multiple solutions as well. There are multiple amounts of solutions when you brainstorm and you've got that mind block. The circle, a reason there, a reason here, a reason there, a reason there, a reason there. Keep playing, you will find them. It's because we limit ourselves to want to think this has got to be the only way to do it, you know. Now, it's funny because I was listening earlier on and I was thinking about the situation as well, relationships as well. It's exactly the same thing. What do? It's because we're so focused on this situation only, but we take it away from ourselves instead of looking at, well, look, there's many other options going on. But because we're so focused on it, we get a kind of mind block and focused on that one person or that one relationship or whatever, or the past, and miss everything that's happening around you in life. Yes, exactly. Which I thought, when Verity said, I thought it was brilliant that she found a way out of it, and what she's doing right now, that was great, let's say. So while I was sitting there, I was thinking, this is exactly the same thing, just on another level, really, the mind block. So let's do the other one. The other one, love what you do. Love what you do, right? Loving what you do creates that feeling. You do become creative. Become creative. You do. You actually break out that as well. So love what you do.
Definitely.
Right? Now, and furthermore, I'll just end that on saying, look, put it into action. Put it into action. Okay? Make sure you take down everything that's done there and put it into action. Okay.
Is that your phone going, Chris?
It is. You saw my face going.
Phone vibrating.
I don't know who's calling me now. I don't know why.
It's probably your wife. Like, where's my dinner?
Where's he now?
Are you coming home for dinner? All right. So I'll let you. I don't know if you guys can hear that. All right. So we have reached the show because you can go now.
I'll go and answer that phone.
All right, thank you very much, Chris, and we'll see you again next week. Okay, so we have reached the end of the programme, so I do hope that's helped. Everyone goes through some kind of heartbreak at some point or another, but the good news is, the great news is that you can get through it and you can be happy again. But if you're having a bit of trouble moving on, please do email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. I can give you some words of advice because I've been through stuff myself, or I can also put you in touch with professionals that can help you. So we'll see you again next time. And if you want more information about the show, visit the website chrissybshow.tv. Bye for now. So Jen, tell us about hydration and diet as well.
Okay.
Sorry, we'll do that again. So Jen, tell us about hydration and diet as well.
Yeah, that's really important. All shoes offer you different benefits, and they might have strong points and weak points for you. So if there's a shoe that is
So sorry, I was trying to hold that in for you.